fail turn assists. It's meant to get you out of like sticky situations. One of the wheel locks to give you something to kind of pivot on. Kind of like the dead leg dance. This is the new Ford Bronco. Let's start with the basics. The first thing you'll notice is that this car looks like it's something straight out of Jurassic Park, but I've driven it around and it's smarter than that. It's like a modern Jurassic Park. The older Broncos became kind of like an iconic car, so what Ford did is they brought it back. Let's start with the front because that is my favorite part of the exterior, right? What you get is a super unique look with Bronco written all through, like right down the middle. You have these LED lights which actually cut into the headlights, which are super, super cool. But this is not how all Broncos look because the amount of customization you can do on these things is crazy. There's 7 different trims on the Bronco alone. You have the base Bronco, the Big Bend, Black Diamond, Outer Banks, Badlands, Wild Track, and the first edition. The one that we have today is the Badlands, the most off-road capable Bronco out there. And it has a bunch of different features. It has its own Badlands suspension. It comes with a rock crawl mode, which I think is super cool. And it has these super sturdy bumpers at the front and at the back, which is designed to go in tricky places. Prices for the Bronco start at about $30,000, but can go up to $60,000 for the fancy pants that want to own the first edition, but there's only going to be 3,500 of those. Right, let's continue with the car. There's a lot to show you. These things right here, these are 33-inch tires. And with the Sasquatch package, you can actually bump these up to 35 inches. So the back is pretty cool, but a little observation, just an opinion, is that it doesn't seem that obvious that it's a Bronco. If you come from like the back, dead back, I mean, yeah, look, you have the Bronco logo over here, but it's like black on black. You never really see that from far away. There's no real like cover that says Bronco. From the back, some people out there would say that kind of looks like a Jeep. Not from this angle. I'm talking from like the back. I do love these like wraparound taillights. It's super cool, like vertical. There's a lot of verticality going on in the back, right? The light is here. Then you got the handle. There is a top secret hidden feature in the back, which is my favorite part. Look. When you get in close, this is a spare wheel, but this is actually a camera. You would never think of a camera being here, right? I've never seen that anywhere, and that's pretty cool, to be honest. When you open the back, open it like this, and as you can see, we've already been driving it around. You can open it this far, but you will not be able to open the top, right? It kind of just does this, which is no bueno. So what you gotta do is you have to open it up past 90 degrees. Let's see if I got this. Yeah, I think it can go even further. That's like unnecessarily open almost, right? It's just a lot. Once it's this open, you can actually now lift that up like that, and you have a pretty spacious back. We've already occupied it. You can get a little sneak peek of what I'm talking about. We've put some of the roof panels here in the back because we made this thing like a little convertible, a little 4x4 convertible. More hidden features. When we open this up like that, you have the history of the Bronco up here to kind of remind you that you're a piece of history. So this is the first ever. That was the U13, that was the U14, and that's the U15, and this is the brand new one. All right, I want to talk about the door because I haven't been as excited about doors in a long time. Before that, you'll see that we have our little Badlands badge. Boof, you own a Badlands. You are better than others. Anyways, first when I open the door, you're gonna see that this thing stays in place. You see? I can actually, that gets pretty close. That's like within a finger, If you had a tubby finger, you'd actually jam yourself here. You'll see that there are no window buttons on the door either. The window buttons are actually right here in the middle, right there. So what does it all mean? The buttons are in there, this thing doesn't move. That's because you can actually remove these doors. They literally give you a toolkit, and all you gotta do, if you come in here, is you'll see it says lift. That tells you where you lift from. And you have a couple of screws over here. I think it's 3 screws and 1 pull. You just do it like that, and you can literally lift it. And because this door has no frame, you'll see that it has no frame, it's much easier to store. You can actually pop these in the back, and you got yourselves a little wild animal to tame the wilderness. All right, so come inside. We're gonna leave the doors on. First thing that you'll notice about this interior is that it feels like I said, like a little bit of a Jurassic Park car. The interior is super rugged and it's designed to be easy to clean, you know, after you've driven it through mud and stuff. Everything is very like rough, rugged materials, right? You have like this rubber here, you have this handle. I don't think anyone would ever be driving like this, or you can hold on to it when, like, you know, looking at dinosaurs, you know, like. Right, once you're inside, you're gonna see that you're greeted everywhere with like Bronco stitching and Bronco writing. You know, you're in a Bronco. You have to remind your passengers that they are being driven in a Bronco. You have your big Ford, you know, kind of like plaque, which actually looks like the grill. You know, these are like the headlights. It's the same as the front, which I think is actually super cool. Built at Michigan Assembly Plant. So just to remind you that this thing is American, and you even have the American flag right here to remind you again that this was made in America, because Ford wants you to know that this was built Ford tough, built in America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. So let's turn it on. This is the start stop, right? Everything comes to life, and you'll see that you have this screen coming up. And what's cool about this screen is that this is actually the front camera, and you can actually click it here. So if you're doing like a rock crawl anywhere, you have like direct access to what's in front of you. If you have a big ass rock right there, you might not see it from here because the bumper's pretty high up, right? But with this, you can actually see it. All the buttons are very sturdy and very physical. You see how there's no nonsense going on. You know, these are all very, you know, physical, you know, clickable. And even here, these are for your differential locks. If it rains from the outside and this gets wet, it's not gonna be a problem. The way that I activated the trail turn assist was with this button right here. You'll see that it has a little arrow. And here, you have this wheel, which says GOAT modes. It's not greatest of all time modes. It's for goes over all terrain modes, right? And you actually have 7 of them with the Badlands. If you go here, you'll see that when I turn this wheel, if I turn this wheel like this, you'll see that it actually goes through, you know, like normal driving mode. Get a zoom in on there. You want to see this, trust me. It's actually pretty cool. Eco is that, you know, here you have like a little sphere with plants, some leaves. Slippery, you know, you got some water and some drops now. You have mud, ruts, even has like little rocks at the top. It's just well designed in general. I think it looks actually super cool. Sand, rock crawl. Also, want to talk about the fact that this is completely open like that. No joke, I could remove this entire roof, both panels, in less than maybe 30 seconds. Just pull like that, you turn like this, you turn like that, you turn like that, and now you have a semi-like convertible. The back one is a bit trickier because you need some screws, but again, Ford gives you this toolkit to remove the doors, to remove the panels. And I think this thing even says Bronco. Yeah, it even says Bronco right there, which is pretty cool. Let's actually talk about the back for a second before we drive this thing, right? So, these chairs are pretty upright, so if you are sitting in them, you're pretty straight. It's good for your back though, right? I mean, at least it's good for your back. I personally would like to recline a little bit, but it is what it is. You have these very strange holes everywhere here. You know, you see this? Like this, we all know what it's for, right? This is apparently meant to hook things, so you can like clip things on, whatever. More Bronco spam. Yes, this is a Bronco. No step. In case you couldn't figure that out by yourself, you probably shouldn't be standing on here. But actually, if you remove this, it probably is pretty tempting to stand. So if you want more space in the back, so all you gotta do, you press this button here like that, boom, this comes down. Then there's a little latch back here. All you gotta do, pull that, and it's that easy. This guy can still hang out, read a book, and you have a ton more like cargo space. And what's also pretty cool, there you go. Even the camera guy with one hand can do it. It's that simple. Let's do what I did before, but now you're inside the car, right? So get inside. We got to confirm that we're in 4-wheel drive. Yes, correct. We are in 4-wheel drive. And then we press this button right here, like that. And then drive. And this would be mainly used like if you're bogged, right? If you're stuck in the sand or in mud or something, you can pivot on the rear wheel. And there we go. We're literally turning like, it's crazy. You know, like it's bizarre to think how close of a turn it is. Like those guys over there, they can't do that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's actually drive it around. You know, when we're driving, I mean, this thing is just so much fun to drive. I love high up cars, but this thing, like, you just feel like the king of the road, right? Like, little bumps don't matter. We're literally driving on sand on the beach right now. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of feels like you're like floating around, you know, like, this is awesome. And I love that you can, like, you know, just take the top off. This is a super, super, super fun car to drive. So this thing has a 2.7 liter V6 that produces 310 horsepower and about 400 pound-feet of torque. So what do you guys think?